Ho 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 ho! Alright, hello slot-heads. I'm going to do a short video on a request. A guy wanted to know how to put an SP43 into a slotted car. Was unaware of how to do it. So, there's a bunch of videos on it, but I'm going to go ahead and do my version of it. It's probably a shortened version. It's actually pretty simple to do. Right here we've got the Porsche 956 Fat Turbo. This is the SP43 chip. Now if you look at it, it's already got some plugs on it. Pretty simple. And well, let's start here. So if you look here, you got an eyelet. Let's get that closer. Right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's an eyelet, and it's going to go on the bottom of the car. And it's going to fit right in this little hole right there. So basically the first thing I do, there's two screws on this car. You got a back one and a front one. Most of them have two, if not they have three. I suggest you keep these somewhere where you're not going to lose them. Or if you don't have any choice and you end up dropping it somewhere, like on the floor around here, I have a magnet stick. It's pretty big from all my tools. Let's do that. See how easy it is to knock those around? So then you're going to take off the top of the car. Okay. We'll set that over there. Now most of the newer ones already have this in place because that's just how they're set up. Older ones are different. This will show us the camera. Older ones are different. You'll have to solder the chip into place. Now, my personal suggestion, if you're going to solder, let's say you got you got this and you got to solder the wiring in. Put your new wiring and solder it in, but you're going to want to solder it to the joints according to how it plugs in. So, for instance, if this one, make sure you don't pull on the wires. Make sure you pull here. So, we know that this one's going to fit this way. Well, actually, it's this way. But if that were not the case, you'd want to wire two of them from here. I would desolder this, take this off, and solder them to here. And then the other side is going to go over to your motor itself. So I'd desolder here, run two new wires up here, desolder this. That way you don't lose the functionality of the plugs. You might use those in a further car down the road. Or at least, that's my thought process on it anyway. You might get an older one and you might want to put a plug in it because it's a lot easier to do it this way. So, you're going to solder it on the two ends. Now make sure when you do this, you know which side's going where and you solder properly. I'd desolder one at a time, honestly, to be careful, just to be careful. And then look at how your plug goes in here because that'll tell you where your wires are. If your car goes backwards when you put it on the track, you put it in wrong. But in this particular case, it's fairly simple. You're going to plug that in right there. The other side is just going to plug in. If I don't have it backwards, which I do, it's going to plug in right there. And most of your cars, when you get them, I don't have mine in here, so that's going to be why this one was out, because there's a stem that screws into. I don't know if you can see that. There's two small holes. Let me see. You can see my finger behind them. Those two small holes is where you'd actually screw down this stem that goes over here and goes up under this front open plate. So what happened is you're going to take the IR. You're going to make sure you put that into place. So in this particular case, you'll drop it in there. Now, what you want to look for is on the underneath is that IR sticking through that hole. And it can stick, you might stick a little below it, but, you know, as far as being on the flat surface, that's okay, it'll be fine. Now, in my particular case, the stick broke, so I don't have it here anymore. I think I have it somewhere, but it's just not here. You could use some putty if you can find it, and not Play-Doh either, and put it down. Or at one time, I think I took a piece of red tape, if you see this edge right here, and I just taped it over there, and that held it in place. I didn't have any problems with it. Now your car is basically digital. Now, it's digital, but you got to do a couple other things when you get over to the track. You got to program it for your digital track. So when you get over there, that could be another video I'll have to show you. But you can program your remote to take the car. So if you got a digital track, Carrera for instance, then this car is now ready. All you got to do is program it. Now there is no switch to change it to make it go reverse, the reverse direction. Matter of fact, I think you can do it. You just have to reverse the wiring. But anyway, this was just a basic plug system. Most slotted cars have them. There's others that don't, and you got to wire it in if you want it. I personally found that I didn't like the digital cars on my more expensive cars, and I'll tell you why. Basically what happens is, okay, so I'm plugging this back in, I've taken this back out, and we're going to put it back over here. So without pulling on those wires too much, then you're going to take this, fit it back over the car, and then you're going to drop one screw in. It helps if your tip's magnetized also. This one's a little bit magnetized, it's not great. Put this one in the back. Now, so I've tightened them all the way down, and then I just turn them off just about a quarter turn for me right now. So it gives it a little bit of sway for your body float. So now that car is ready to go back analog. Great car, by the way. If you don't have one, I would highly suggest picking one up. So anyway, that's how you put a S43 in. Now, one thing I didn't mention, when I had the car open, was you can buy a wiring kit for it. If yours does not have the plugs, you can buy I think it's the SP15, which is just a wiring kit for the digital. So what it is, it wires up from the motor to where we're plugged in on the chip itself, and then you have another one that comes from your braids underneath. It comes up and it has another plug on it, so you can plug in the other side of your digital. That's probably the easiest way to go if you have a car that doesn't have those, that already has the plugs in it. I haven't ran across one yet, so good chances are that's all you got to do with a slotted car. Fairly simple. But again, for beginners, it's not that simple. You don't know what they're talking about. So I'm going to try to remember to do videos like that. Or if you have a request, I'll try to, if I know anything about it, I'll put out a video, or I'll tell you what I'm going to do. But that's basically how you put a chip in a car. Probably took longer to say all that than what it really was, but it's been an evening. I did one earlier on starting to build my own car, which I will be doing videos on here shortly. If I can remember to turn the camera on when I'm trying to film, when I'm doing this stuff. But anyway, I wanted to answer that man's question, and it may answer some of your questions. Like I said, there's other videos out there. They might explain it in more detail, but I think I've got it. It's not complex. It's not rocket science. But I can see how it can be frustrating. There's a lot of things I still find, like I'm getting ready to build my first car. It's gonna be this 55, and this is the brass frame for it. This will be my first time building one, so yeah, I'm a nervous wreck about it. You're always afraid to mess it up, but if I never try, then I never learn how to do it. So everything's try and tribulation around here. So anyway, that's it, slot car fans. And if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. And I try to put them out pretty regularly. I don't really keep a normal schedule like some people, but and there's some other great channels on there that can help you with tuning. Marty over at Two Line Slot Cars is a big tuner. He's very well at tuning. You got George at Area 51. You got Harry over at Homeworld Racing. Now he goes pretty in detail with cars. He'll even explain some of the things the shortcomings of the car, and you know, if it needs to be lowered or whatever, you can learn a lot from that man. Matter of fact, him and Georgia were, and I think Shotgun Dave too. They all were the ones that came up with this. This is a whole kit that just comes in one box for a 132 car. And I wanted to say, just Rahul pointed this out to me earlier. I hadn't read the side of the box. Warning: contents of this kit may be extremely addictive. I have a feeling that's going to happen. And then what'll happen is I'll still buy cars like this, but I'll be building the cars I want. Now, this is a kit for a 132. I think they're going to be coming out with one for a 125. So at that point, you'll be able to build pretty much any car you can think of if you can find the model for it. 132 is a little harder to find. These, like this is a snap kit over here of a 55 Chevy. And really all I'm needing is the top part of the car. I don't need most of the bottom stuff, so it won't be on the car. You know, just paint it up and you build your frame. I brought this up earlier with in my last video, but I'm pretty excited. Oh, sorry, I got that. Dylan must be getting me. But I'm pretty excited about it, so I just thought I'd bring it up again since I'm doing this video on the same day. So anyway, y'all have a good evening, and I hope this helps, and talk to you again soon. Bye. Ho, 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 ho. Ha 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 ha!